How are we doing, everybody? UFC Thoughts here, and today I'm going to be talking about Dana White's Contender Series Week 1. Dana White's Contender Series is back. It just wrapped up this Tuesday. It's back up. We had 5 fights, and honestly, some pretty solid fucking fights, not gonna lie. I always forget how good the Contender Series actually is. So, yeah, let's just go right into it. We'll start with the featured fight, or whatever they call it, and we'll move our way down. In the featured fight, Mansour Abdul Malik versus Wes Schultz. Um, Mansour Abdul Malik is a pretty fucking big guy for middleweight, super young, 26, and he made this fight look. I wouldn't even say easy, actually. Wes Schultz actually had some moments, uh, and Wes Schultz, may I say, has one of the most awkward fighting styles I've ever seen in my life. He was falling all over himself almost the entire time. Oh, this guy lost to Dylan Budka. Oh no. But yeah, Mansour Abdul Malik on the feet. I liked his jab. I like where he works out. Not where he works out, but who he works out with. Chris Curtis, Sean Strickland, that whole gym of fucking psychos. So he's got good cardio. His takedowns were pretty fucking solid. I'll give him that. And honestly, he's got a lot of finishing potential on the ground. He fucking hits like a Mack truck, it seems. And Wes Schultz kind of just crumbled under the pressure. The first round, like, Wes Schultz was landing a lot of shit on Mansour as well. Like, it was honestly like, he ate like a spinning wheel kick and then a right overhand, like, simultaneously. Shit was nuts. And so that's a good sign to me. Middleweight needs more contenders as it is. I like Mansour Abdul Malik. I think he can go pretty far against unranked middleweight competition, depending on who you match him up with. I imagine that Mansour Abdul Malik, a type of person they would pair him up with, would be like a Cedric Was Dumas, depending on how you match make him after his last fight, or depends on how high you want to go with Mansour, or a short notice thing, but liked it a lot. Got the contract, so we'll see him against UFC caliber competition. He'll probably get a fight this year, I imagine, barring injury, but yeah, good shit. We move to the co-featured whatever. Rami Hamed versus Meng Ding. The only winner who didn't get a contract, Rami Hamed, and it makes sense. My only issue with the Contender Series is that Dana White, after the fact, was like, I don't like signing 31-year-olds. I don't like signing 31-year-olds. Then why are they on your show? Why did you put them on the show then? You know what I mean? You could have signed up another fucking regional, was this welterweight? You could have signed another regional welterweight if you wanted to, but you fucking, like, you moron. But yeah, I will concur. I don't think Rami Hamed deserved a contract after his performance. He kind of just didn't want to go for it. And I understand that he took the fight on short notice, I imagine. I think that's what he was an underdog. Meng Ding, super young. Not super young, but 29, has over like 40 fights. Yeah, 34-9 is his record now at 29 years old. You're going to be speaking in tongues by the time you're 34, kid. Rami Hamed just never really picked up the pace. He kind of kept the same output, waged on the outside, kind of leg kicked them to death. Caught a couple of counter shots though, and when they were talking about Rami, they talked about him as like a pristine kickboxer. He uses a lot of cool techniques, but he didn't really do that. He kind of looked solid with the hands more than the legs, I imagine. Meng Ding, I don't know what his game plan was. He kept constantly just pressing Rami against the fence, but doing absolutely nothing with it. So he can only be mad at himself. So the only winner that didn't get a contract for week 1, Rami Hamed. Yeah, he kind of just blue-balled himself out of the UFC by not putting on a more impressive performance, which sucks, but, you can't be mad at it. You can only be mad at yourself. We move to the featured thing, whatever. Bruno Lopez versus Mikhail Sajiani. I forget how to pronounce his last name exactly, but Bruno Lopez, this is his second time in the Contender Series. He got knocked out by Brennan Habero, I want to say. Let me check. It was Brennan Habero. He got knocked out bad in that first round. Mikhail, he's a Georgian guy that trains with Merab Dvalishvili and all those guys. So I thought, like, this guy would be he'd be good, but no. Mikhail is very awkward. A lot of overhand rights. He kind of just couldn't. He found the mark in the first round. He knocked down Bruno with right overhand that landed on the right side of his temple that dropped him really fast. But then Bruno got back up. But Bruno, as the fight went on, you could kind of just see that Mikhail was gassing hard, started to slow down, started to look not great. And Bruno kind of took over from there. He landed a couple of decent body shots and ended up setting him down with a right straight to the gut. So, Bruno Lopez got a contract, which was kind of surprising to me. I kind of expected them to, because at this point, Dana White will give a contract to legit anybody who gets a finish on the Contender Series. If you get a finish, you're pretty much a fucking lock-in for the UFC. But Bruno Lopez, I don't know how far this guy goes in the UFC. At 205, there's a lot of heavy hitters there, man. I think that Bruno Lopez kind of just is like a lamb to the slaughter when he gets to the UFC, which he is in the UFC now, but I don't know how far he's going to go. I imagine he's going to be a guy that they feed to some younger competition. I imagine that he'll probably get fed to a Ming Yang Zhang or something like that. But, I don't see this guy as a ranked level fighter, so he'll probably die. We move to the second fight. Jose Delgado versus Ernie Juarez. Again, a guy who took the fight on short notice won. Jose Delgado got an insane, step-in knee finish over Ernie Juarez. It was very brutal. Both guys, great records. Jose was 7-1, moved up to 8-1. Ernie Juarez was 8-0. And the thing is, Ernie kind of gassed. It was kind of a weird thing. After the first round, he kind of just kept slowing down, and Jose Delgado kind of just imposed his will against Ernie Juarez and got the finish. Ernie, first of all, Jose threw a right overhand, I believe, and Ernie kind of ducked, and then when Jose saw him duck, he just ran in with a knee, and Ernie ducked even more into it and just kind of ate it on the jaw and kind of just died. Jose, another guy at 145. He's a pretty big kid, is he not? 5'11", 73-inch reach at featherweight. He's a pretty fucking big guy, man, and he's got some good grappling tendencies. I don't know. He had good cardio for a short notice appearance. I mean, holy shit, he outpaced Ernie Juarez. I don't know how far he'll go, but that's a great signing. Not a great signing, but a good signing. I imagine that he'll go pretty far. Yeah. Good stuff, kid. We move to the first fight of the night. Lonnie Kavanaugh? I don't know if I'm pronouncing his first name right. I think it's Lonnie. Versus Antoine Ho. Don't know if I pronounced his name right either. But, insane knockout at flyweight. Insane KO at flyweight. Caught him it reminded me a little bit of the, Peyton Talbot, Cameron Simon KO, where Antoine kind of just ran in with his hands down, and Lonnie, I said three different names, caught him with a left hook, and at first, when I watched it, I thought he caught him with the left hook and then clipped him on the temple with his right hand. Watching it back, the left hook just sets him off. The right hand doesn't even really land. It more of grazes Antoine. But man, that's a pretty bad KO. And both against a really solid contender who was 6-0, now 6-1. I mean, Lonnie, however he's going to be a fucking guy at flyweight. Flyweight's a pretty shallow division. Lonnie, I think you could probably give him about to say Joshua Van, but I don't know if they'd give him Joshua Van. You could probably give him a Rafael Estevam or a who did Joshua Van beat? Who did he beat before losing to Charles Johnson? Was that wasn't Esteban. Esteban was the guy that beat Charles Johnson. Who cares? You know, if you guys know who I'm talking about, you know who I'm talking about. Lone, I think he can go pretty far. Pretty heavy hands, 7-0. What gym does he train at? Great Britain top team. It's a pretty solid gym, man. It's like Nathaniel Wood. Damn. Mark JKC. Got some solid guys over there. I like Brad Pickett as a head coach. That's good. I think Loney can go pretty far. But yeah, Dana White's Contender Series is back up. Can't wait to watch it. This was my second video of the week that wasn't Picks and Breakdown. Kind of just thought I'd talk about this. I'm doing research for 305 now. That video will get up most likely Thursday, late Thursday, early Friday for you guys. So, yeah. If you like the video, give it a like. Leave a comment if you want to talk about the Contender Series guys that just fought, what you think about them. Who would you have signed? Who have you would not have signed? And what are your thoughts on the Contender Series? Like, who are some guys in the future weeks? Like, I know Aaron Tao, I think his name from City Kickboxing is fighting on there. There's like a heavyweight from City Kickboxing that's fighting on there. Luke Riley was who as at Next Gen with Patty Pimblett at them was supposed to be on, but I'm pretty sure he had to pull out, which sucks. But yeah, that's the video. I'll see you guys for Picks and Breakdown, then the recap. Peace.